Will record. Awesome. Okay. Yes. Welcome, everyone. And I'm so happy to see everyone. And the sun's out, and the weather is much more pleasant than I thought. And I think it might even be nicer than last week because at some point I had a sweaty everything. Okay, so yes, it is a doggy park. So that they might just, run around and sniff your butts when you're in down dog. And as you guys can see, I brought Jackson. It's an experiment. I had a bit of a crazy morning, so I really didn't have time to walk him. So I thought, you know what, we'll see what happens. If it's a complete fail, I will leave him at home next time. But I have my other dog whisperer here as well, so I hope that she can keep a little eye on him for me. I have a class that's a little bit of everything. So a little bit of shoulders, a little bit of hips, some twisting as well. So just an all-around practice to make you feel good. Yeah, take it easy if you need to. Modifications, of course. Add on if you feel like you want to do more, if you feel like there's any other crazy stuff that you feel like your body needs, you can do whatever you need. Go ahead and sit comfortably. You can sit however you want, cross-legged or maybe on your shins. Okay. Actually, come and sit cross-legged. I just thought of something. Okay. Bring your hands onto your knees. And it doesn't really matter if the knees actually touch the floor, but we're going to lean from side to side. And as you do, you're going to bend one elbow and then the other, and you're going to press your knee away from you. So as you press from side to side, you're going to feel a stretch on your waist and in the front of your hips. So your hip flexors are going to stretch out a little bit. Maybe you can get one knee to the floor. And if it's already on the ground, just think about creating some space between your hip bone and your hip socket. Just going side to side a couple times. And slowly from there, allow that swinging from side to side, that pendulum swing, to become more of like a half moon. So you're also slowly coming forward. And as you start to come forward, notice how the lower spine also comes into play. So when you lean forward, you feel a stretch run more or less over your lower back. Try to keep the sit bones into the ground. And when you feel like that half circle wants to become bigger, you can start to make it into a full circle. Go all the way around. Doesn't really matter which direction because we'll change direction in a little bit anyway. So slowly going around and go into the stretches that you're feeling. So from the back of the hips, the front of the thighs, maybe the lower back. Make sure that you're starting to bring in your breath. And it doesn't have to look any particular way. You could even close your eyes and let the sounds come in and the breeze run over your face and your hair. And very gently go back to the half moon. So just half moons. So you basically stop the full circle somewhere halfway and you continue with your half moons. And then if you remember which direction you were going, slowly go into the opposite direction. And if you weren't sure, you'll feel it. And then you can just change it. Okay, maybe if it feels good, you can allow your head to start to roll around. But if that makes you dizzy or if that's too much, then just keep your head in the middle. And maybe you can already start to feel that this generates some heat. There's a lot of energy in the spine. And something as simple as just making these circles kind of ignite this spinal fire, this Agni. And whenever we talk about heat or fire in the practice, or there's also this Sanskrit word tapas, which means also discipline or fire or to burn, it is to burn away anything that's stuck. And most of you know that I like a vigorous practice, that I like, tough stuff sometimes. And it is to create that warmth in not just the body, but also to spirit, to kind of clear room, to make space, to shine light, to melt away anything that's stuck. Come back to your half moons. So forward. And the next time that you lean on over towards your left knee, bring your left hand down to the floor and stretch your right arm all the way over your ear. Nice long stretch as you reach. Good. And then if you like, you can start to really slowly open and close your chest by just rounding to the left and opening up to the back. A couple times. And feel how that stretch goes into the upper back on the right side. So every time you close, you can feel that this stretch goes in between the shoulder blades. One more big breath in to open. And as you exhale, bring your right hand down towards your left knee and walk your left fingertips around towards the left to come into a twist. And let your twist be simple. You can bring your left ear to your left shoulder to create a stretch on the right side of the neck. Still a little chin to chest so that there is no kink in the back of the neck. Sit up nice and tall. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, release that left hand. Take it forward and around. Keep holding on to the right knee. And then around your spine and kind of pull on your knee so that you can really get that upper back opening called protraction of the shoulder blades. And also here you could swing a little bit from side to side. All right, slowly on your inhale, come up and then bring the hands together if you can for full eagle arms. And if the hands don't touch, you can bring the back of the hands together. Yeah, and then take the elbows up. Inhale, maybe lean back a little bit. And as you exhale, round your spine and pull the elbows in towards the navel. And inhale, take the elbows up, stick the sit bones back. Exhale, round in, elbows towards belly. One more time, inhale, take the elbows all the way up. And exhale to round. Slowly release the arms, sweep them up towards the sky. Inhale. And then bring your hands together and your thumbs about just above the crown of the head or third eye, whatever feels best. And take a moment to just see if there's anything that you would like to melt away. Maybe the tension in a particular body part or something that you're dealing with in your day or your week, or maybe just something that's a part of your presence right now. And then taking a big breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, allow the hands to come down to the heart. And then let them come down towards the knees. Take a big breath in. Just one or two half circles from side to side. And then the next time that you lean on over into your right knee, you stay there, bring your right hand down to the floor, and stretch your left arm all the way over your ear. Right, so the side body stretch on the other side, reaching over, feeling that stretch from the hip all the way into the armpit. And I always like to bend the elbow a little bit so that I can pull the shoulder back, which creates more space across the chest. And then slowly opening and closing here. Right, so every time that you twist down, you want to feel that big line of muscles stretching on your back. Move with your breath. Opening and closing. One or two more times. And go for what it all feels like. So we're really getting into the feeling state. Exhale. Let your left hand come down onto your right knee and then slowly sitting up a little to get your right fingertips behind you and then gazing back over the right shoulder. Maybe the right ear to the right shoulder a little bit to create more length in the neck without lifting the chin up too high. So keep a little tuck of the chin down, Jalandhara Bandha. Another big breath in. Maybe twist a little bit more as you exhale. And slowly coming back to center. Keep holding on to that right knee with the left hand. Take the right arm across. And then round in as you pull your chin in towards your chest. And you kind of pull your knees together, but at the same time, your knees press back to the floor. So there's this traction there. And the more you round, maybe you can even physically bring your chin to your chest to get that opening on the back of the heart. Maybe you want to sway a little side to side. One more big inhale. Release, interlock the arms, take the elbows up, inhale. Try to go for an arc spine and exhale, rounding it. Inhale, take the elbows up, lean back. Think of really tilting the sit bones away from the navel and exhale, rounding in. One more time. Inhale, lift up, extend. Exhale, slowly release the arms, sweep them all the way up. Inhale, breath. And exhale, passing the hands, third eye, throat center, heart center, and then keep the palms there. Close the eyes for a moment if they were not. Relax the shoulders back if they were up. And take another moment to maybe intend for something in your practice without setting anything in stone. So an intention for your practice is not a goal or a particular ending place that you have to achieve. It's an invitation for something to maybe spontaneously manifest. Take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale out of the mouth. And slowly releasing the hands down. Allow the eyes to blink open. Come forward over the knees and make your way into tabletop. And the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Spread your fingers nice and wide and go ahead and extend your right leg back, kicking your heel away from you. Okay? Then slowly take that right foot and cross it all the way over towards the left, really squeezing your inner thighs together. And as you look over your left shoulder, you want to feel that big stretch go all the way into the right side of your waist. Then inhale, take your leg back to the middle. And as you exhale, pull your knee in towards your right elbow and round your back. Inhale, stretch your right leg back behind you, big long spine. And exhale, take your foot over towards the left, gazing over at your foot and really squeezing your inner thighs as much as you can. Inhale, take your right leg back. Exhale, knee towards elbow. Take yourself all the way into a rounding. 2 more times. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, right leg all the way over towards the left. Inhale to the middle. Exhale, knee towards elbow. Last one. Inhale, kick your leg back. As you exhale, take your right foot all the way over to the left. Bring your tiptoes down to the floor here for a moment. Keep your right hand down, and can you twist your left arm up as far as it'll go? You might feel a little bit stuck. You might feel the left hip kind of resist since the leg is extended back behind. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly bring the left hand down to the floor. Take the right leg back. Inhale, breath. And exhale, right knee towards nose, round, and we're going to step the foot to the outside of the right hand. And here you can come up onto fingertips so that you have a little bit more space between you and the floor. And then lifting the chin away from the ground so that you can create some stretch in the front. I'm feeling the left hip flexor. Take another big inhale breath. And we're going to send the hips back, straightening the right leg, and just a couple times back and forth. So this is always a little sequence that I really like, going from half splits into the lunge pose. And it does so much more than just hamstring work, right? The left hip flexor, the hinging from the hips, it stretches the lower back, the outer line of the right hip. Take one more big inhale breath. Exhale to fold. Inhale to slowly come forward and simply step the left foot forward to the top of the mat as well. Halfway lift, inhale. Your stance could be a little wider. And exhale, fold forward, drop the head. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach up, connect the palms. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. Now interlace the thumbs, or interlace, lock the thumbs together. Scoop the arms up. Inhale. Pull the arms all the way back behind you, and then think of diving down over the right side, and then slowly come up. Come up over the left side. Inhale all the way towards the sky. Pull yourself back a little bit, and then down over the left side. Up over the right side. Inhale. And as you release your arms, bend your elbows, bend your knees, and slowly cascade all the way down and forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, step the left foot back. Bring the knee down to the floor. Keep your toes tucked under. Reach the arms up for this one. Inhale. And as you exhale, straighten the right leg. Move your hips back, but your toes are still tucked into the ground. If you have a little bit more space, you could sit back on the heel if that's okay on the knee. We're going to come forward, high lunge. Lift your left knee and stretch your palms up. Big breath in. Stretch the left leg out. Exhale, hands to the floor. And then step the right foot back, downward facing dog. Good. Walk out your down dog if you like. If you need, one heel up, the other one down. Maybe just roll out the neck, roll into the shoulders. Good. On your next inhale, lift your heels, roll all the way forward, high plank. Shoulders over wrists, bend your knees to hover, and just keep them to hover for 3, 2, and 1. At the very exact same time, bring the knees down to the floor, kick the left leg back, inhale. Exhale, take the left leg over towards the right, squeeze the inner thighs and look back to see your foot. Inhale, leg back to center. Exhale, knee to elbow, round as much as you can. Inhale, kick your left leg back. Exhale, left leg over to the right. Stretch the left side. Inhale up to center. Exhale, left knee towards left elbow. Inhale, 2 more times. Extend. Exhale, squeeze inner thighs like you're really squeezing like a small piece of fruit. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, knee towards elbow. Last one. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, squeeze the inner thighs. Bring your tippy toes to the floor as far to the right as you can, and then reach the right arm up. And see how far you can get into your twist. And feel the right hip opening. Feel that right shoulder working, so the muscles are working to lift the arm. Maybe look up. Good. One more big inhale breath. Exhale, right hand down to the floor, left leg all the way up and back. Round in, left knee towards left elbow, and step the foot to the outside of the left hand. Sink forward into the hips, come to your fingertips, create some length, lift the chin. Stay here for an extra breath. Relax the shoulders away. And as you exhale, start a couple movements shifting from half splits back forward into your lunge. And as an exploration, just check and see how far your leg wants to straighten, if it wants to at all. Right? Take your time in each and every variation of the shape. Feel the difference between pointing and flexing that left foot. Right? When you move back and you flex, you might feel that you have much more room. If you point, and if you flex, you might feel that there's a little bit more resistance there. One more big breath, shifting the weight back. And then on your next breath, when you come forward, put the right foot up to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, extend. And exhale, fold forward all the way down. Inhale, rise up, take the arms together, look up as the palms touch. And exhale, hands to the heart. So we'll do one more of those spinal rolls from side to side. Scoop the arms up, pull the arms back behind you, and then dive down over to the left side first. And then feel everything alongside your spine. Come up over the right side. Inhale, press from the feet. And change to the right. Go all the way down. Feel the side body. Come up over the left side. Inhale, pull the arms back. A little bend to your knees so you can create more space in the lower back. Elbows bend as you release and come all the way down and forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. Bring the knee down and keep the toes tucked. Reach the arms up, low lunge, inhale. And exhale, with or without all the way the sitting on the heel, right? You can also just stay somewhere halfway and be on fingertips. Come into high lunge, so we come forward and we lift the right knee by pressing into the ground, inhale. Exhale, hands come to the floor and we step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Again, take a moment to arrive in that down dog, shoulders wide, fingers grip. One more big inhale. Exhale. Lift the heels. Inhale, come all the way forward. Bend the knees to hover. Round your back a little bit and try to see if you can really get your shins to be parallel to the floor as much as you can. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring your knees down. Untuck the toes, lift the sit bones, and then bend your elbows and come all the way down to chest and chin. Glide your belly down to the floor, untuck the feet if they were still tucked, and then lift up coming into your variation of cobra. Exhale, slowly come all the way down. Take 2 more in your own rhythm, and they can be with palms flat, they can be on fingertips, they can be high, they can be low. Go for what it feels like. One more big inhale, lift, and exhale, slowly come down. Tuck the toes, move the hips back towards the heels, and then lift the knees, come into downward facing. Okay, take that right leg all the way up and back, big breath in, and then bending the right knee, opening the hip up. Put a little bend in your left knee as well. As you exhale, bring your right knee forward towards your right elbow, shoulders over wrist, round and touch. Inhale, take your right leg all the way up and back, bend the knee, open the hip, exhale, right knee towards elbow. One more time. Inhale, extend all the way up and back. Don't forget to bend and open the hip. Exhale, right knee towards right elbow, and then step the foot forward. Now we're going to bend that left knee. We're going to hover it over the floor. So instead of bringing it down, just hover it. Then round your spine and inhale, come into a both bent knee lunge. So for this lunge, both knees are bent. Keep your lower back long, and you want to feel a big stretch in the front of that left hip. As we're going to extend the left leg, The heart is going to puff forward and your leg is going to straighten, and that should keep your lower back free. Take a big inhale, maybe lean it back. And as you exhale, lean forward, keep your right knee bent, and just lift that left foot away from the floor. Then maybe you can straighten that right leg out, keeping the arms extended. Can you rebend into the right knee for a breath? Can you extend the leg out again? One more time, inhale. Exhale, bend into the right knee, and slowly step the left foot back to where it came from. Bring the palms together, and this time, bring the thumbs in between the shoulders. Lift the elbows high, lift the heart. Inhale. Exhale, palms come down to the floor. Right leg comes all the way up and back, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. And if you want, you can bring your left elbow down to the floor, which creates a little bit of an extra stretch through the armpit. If that's too much, just stay on the hand. For 3, 2, and 1. Lift that left elbow back up. Lean forward into high plank, and you can choose with or without your right foot back to the ground, bending the elbows and coming down onto the belly. Inhale, cobra, both feet come down, or up dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg, reach it all the way up, bend the knee, open the hip. Good. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, touch and squeeze. Inhale, take that left leg all the way up and bend it to open. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, round and touch. Don't forget to really get the shoulders to lift. One more time. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, left knee all the way forward to step the foot in between the hands. Now from this position, right when your stance is about right, bend your right knee to hover and then round up. Right, try and see if you can really keep that shin as parallel to the floor as possible. Notice what's happening in your heel, if you're pressing your heel out, or if you can keep your heel above the big toe. Take the arms up, inhale. Now from here, as you extend the leg, stretch the heart forward. Good. One more inhale, keep the arms lifted, lean forward and stand into the left leg, keep it bent. And straighten it, inhale, or exhale, whatever breath you're on, bend it. And lift, straighten it. Bend it one more time, straighten it one more time. Inhale, squeezing from the left glute. Slowly bending into the left knee, stepping it back, palms together, hands in between the shoulder blades. To get a good stretch from the armpits all the way up into the elbows. Inhale. Exhale like a sword. Bring the hands down and take that left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Maybe bring your right elbow down to the floor for a moment. Breathe. On your next inhale, come forward, high plank. With or without that left leg down, come all the way into your chaturanga. Cobra or upward dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears, taking a couple breaths in that down dog. And if you feel like playing with it, right, you could maybe bring your elbows down to the floor. You don't have to, but if you want to, you could give it a try. Make sure that you relax your head if you do. Okay, so there's no need to keep looking up at your hands. You can just look back at your feet and lift them up whenever you need to. So you could keep your elbows down onto the floor, but you could also lift them. Depending on what you like, lift your right leg all the way up and back. And maybe you're trying to do that with your elbows on the floor. You don't have to, but you could give it a go. Maybe you only want to get that one elbow down to the ground. Take another inhale. Strong in the arms. If they were down, lift them up and step the right foot all the way forward in between the hands. Keep that left knee to hover. Take the arms up. Inhale with the bent knee, lunge. Straighten the legs. Hey, boof. And then lean all the way forward, bending into the knee. Inhale. To come and stand into the right foot, and we step back. Bend the elbows one more time. Bring them in between the shoulders. And then take the hands forward in front of your heart. Then, almost like a bow and arrow, like an archer, you're going to pull your right arm back and twist over towards the right. Sink a little bit lower into that right knee, but if you want more challenge, you could bend your left knee so that it's also hovering like we did in that bent knee lunge. And maybe with your right hand, touch the left heel, which is a really tough one. But you can play around with that and see how it goes. And if you are trying to go to touch the heel, keep the knee to hover, right? Because the tendency will be to kind of want to drop it or to want to extend it. Okay, if you have the heel, tickled it, or maybe yes or no, doesn't matter. Bring your left hand down to the ground and lift that right arm up to the sky. Take a big inhale. From here, we're going to step either into side plank or into wild thing, whatever feels best for you. Lean the left heel out to the back. Maybe you're stepping your right foot off your mat, reach the right arm over your head. Maybe you're just stepping your right foot on top of your left. Either way is fine. Opening up, feel the opening, the stretch, the expansion. And then from here, gather the core, right hand back down to the floor. Maybe keep that right foot up for your chaturanga. Maybe you keep that right foot up when you go into your upper dog. And exhale back into downward facing dog. Good. Staying there for 5 breaths. Good. Take your time for 3. Really get that breath in. Just remember that it's okay, all the sensations, all the thoughts, all the feels. It's just a day, and it's okay if it's one of those days. Whatever that means to you. 2. And 1. On your next inhale, take that left leg all the way up and back towards the sky. Stepping that left foot forward in between the hands. Remember, first, keep the right knee to hover so that you can make that leg super strong while at the same time stretching out the top of the thigh. As you extend the leg, reach the heart up and then use that length to step into warrior 3. Left knee is still bent, but take one moment to straighten it. And then feel what happens, the weight of the body as you exhale, rebend into the knee and just step back to where you came from. Thumbs in between the shoulders. Inhale, lift, open the chest. Exhale, wield the sword. Take the hands forward and then open bow and arrow, left arm to the back. From here you can stay, squeezing the thighs, or you can bend the right knee and play with keeping the right knee to hover and to touch the right heel with the left hand. And it's further away than you think. It really helps to keep the twist. It also really helps to reach the right arm up rather than forward, because if you bring it forward, it will always keep you there. So maybe you can bring that right arm all the way up. If you wobbly, you are human. I think that's my favorite phrase ever. Then from there, bring your right hand forward and down underneath the shoulder. Lift that left arm up. Take as long as you like. Linger a breath in your twist, or just step into your wild thing if you like it. Maybe you want to stay more than one breath in your wild thing. Lift the hips up nice and high. Side plank is also fine, right? Wild thing is a pretty intense one. So if it's not yet for you, then do whatever else feels good. From here, maybe you can keep that left leg up as you go through your chaturanga and your upward dog. So the left hand comes down, slowly descend, find a way that works. You can also skip it, upward dog. Ooh, maybe keep it up. Yes, and exhale, downward facing dog. If you need a moment with your knees down, remember, of course, you can. We're going to be 5 breaths in downward facing. For 5. Good. Maybe you want to shake out the head or do anything else that feels good. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Slowly on your next inhale, take that right leg all the way up and back, bending the right knee, opening up the hips. Now you could decide to bring that left elbow down to the floor and keep it on the floor as you try to step the right foot to the outside of the right hand with the elbow still on the ground. Nice. So whether that happened or not, maybe you have to bring that left elbow back down onto the floor. You could also decide then to bring the right elbow down to the ground and take a couple moments in a super low lizard here. And that left knee can come to the floor if you feel like you need to. If your hip flexors are very tight, bringing that left knee to the floor can make it a little bit easier. You can stay on the left forearm, right? If you need to be on the hand, that's fine. You can also decide to twist it open. Take the right arm up, or maybe reach back for the left foot and squeeze the heel into the butt. So we're just going to give it a couple breaths. Good. Just play with that a couple breaths. And it's fine to maybe take it a little easier today if you feel like you need to. For 3, 2, and 1. Okay, slowly from here, if you were still on the hand, come down onto the forearm, and this next thing doesn't have to be pretty. We're going to try a wild thing on the forearm. So your left elbow is going to stay on the floor. Maybe you, for a second, need your right fingertips underneath you so that you can pick that right foot up and step it behind you, and then reach the right arm over the ear. Woo! Maybe you want to bring your right hand behind your head or in between your shoulder blades. That's too much. That could be too much. Left leg, notice if it's bending. What happens if you straighten it? Ah, good. Slowly from here, come back. Right elbow down to the floor, forearm plank. Drop your hips down. Inhale, cobra, or let's say sphinx. Exhale, slowly release. Come into upward dog. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly back into downward facing dog. Elbows don't come to the floor, but lift your right leg up. Inhale. And step the right foot forward in between the hands. And we do that little sequence. Bend the left knee to hover. Take the arms up. And then use whatever breath comes next to expand the leg straight and the chest up. Bend into the right knee. First step into it. Inhale. Then bend into it so that you can step it back. Hands in between shoulder blades, elbows high. Inhale. Exhale, wield the sword, and then open the bow and arrow, right arm back. From here, bend the left knee. Maybe tap the foot. And from here, we're coming into warrior 2. So you're opening to the side, windmill the hands, change the feet, left heel down, arms open. All right, take your right arm up and over, big breath in. And then exhale, bring your right hand around to your lower back. Bring your left hand onto your belly. And notice what happens here. Right, we try to open that left hip out to the left and try to have your elbow pointed forward in the same direction as your right knee as much as you can. From here, we're going to stand up into warrior, or actually that's not warrior, that's half moon pose. But we're going to try to keep the hands as they are to really try to create that plane, which is straight rather than closed. So look forward in front of your right foot. Lean into that right foot. Maybe you need more than one step, that's fine. But come to stand into your right foot and keep your left elbow pointed up and your right elbow pointed down. Good, really opening up that left hip. Squeezing from the right glute. When you're ready, let your right hand come down to the floor, your left arm come up to the sky. Flexing through the left heel. Inhale. We're going to square down, left hand down to the floor, and left leg up and back. Now, we did this very similar thing when we were in tabletop. Remember when we crossed the inner thighs to step the foot out to the side? Take that left foot and take it as far out to the right as you can. Little tap to the floor. Inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, tap the left foot all the way out to the right. Little tap one more time. Inhale. Exhale, left foot taps out to the right. This one might be a little bit of a twister move, so stay with me. Left hand down. Right arm up to the sky. Okay, now check in. Are you on the toes of the left foot, or can you bring your heel down? Okay, if your heel is down, keep it down. Identify your right foot with your mind. Okay, and now step your right foot over to the back of your mat. Oh, inhale, fallen triangle. Big breath in. And as you exhale, bring your right hand down. Come into downward facing dog. You can stay there or go through a vinyasa, whatever feels best. Up dog, down dog. Good. And eventually ending there. Take your time there for a moment to just process what just happened. For 3. 2, and 1. Okay, we're slowly going to bring the knees down to the floor. And when you bring your elbows down to the ground, bring your palms together in prayer, maybe even walk your elbows out a little bit further, and then bending the elbows to bring your thumbs back in between. Just giving your chest an opening. The more forward you walk your elbows, the more your chest can melt. Giving the legs a break for a second before we go into that last round. Or one of the last rounds. Gave away too much. Breathe. And whatever degree of warmth or heat you're feeling right now, can you let your breath sort of massage out or disperse that throughout the entire system rather than just being in one spot? And maybe notice after we've done a couple rounds and we did do some repetition, right? It gives this soothing quality to the mind and to the body. And once you surrender to, even if it's just the tiniest bit of resistance, if you resist that pressure or that heat or the tensions or the contractions that we sometimes go through, when we surrender to that heat, to that fire, to that tapas, then there is something else that softens. So there, I said this last week, there is a little bit of something in everything. So even if something feels very hard or very contracted, there will always be something softening on the other side. Take a big breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, bring your palms forward and down. Keep your forearms on the floor, tuck your toes, lift your butt, come into dolphin pose. So that's the down dog on the forearms. And then try and see if you can lift your elbows at the very exact same time. And if you didn't do it at the same time, bring them back down and try again. Yes, awesome. Then on your next breath in, take your left leg all the way up and back. And like we did on the other side, you can try this. Your right elbow comes back down to the floor. We just lifted it, I know, but bring it back down. And then step that left foot all the way to the outside of the left hand. And then you can stay on the right forearm, maybe bring both down, maybe keep the right knee lifted, but maybe it needs to come to the floor. And then you can play with a twist. You could even play by reaching the right hand back. Breathe. Good. Give it a couple breaths in that super low lizard variation. If you are grabbing the heel, try and see if you can maybe first bring the butt towards the heel. It's kind of like you're going back. And then you try to keep them connected as you then go forward again. And the tendency is to kick the heel away from you, but that can kind of move you away from more depth. So maybe you won't be able to go as far forward, but at least that connection is there. Take one more big breath in. From whatever variation of this you were, slowly release. Right forearm comes down to the floor, whatever way. Lift that right knee. Maybe you need your left fingertips, stepping the left foot into forearm waltzing. Whee! Sound effect. Lift your left arm and reach it over your ear and just play with it. Maybe your right leg is straight. If it's not, you can make it straight maybe. Inhale. Exhale, left forearm also comes down, forearm plank. Give it one breath in here, and then slowly lower your belly down to the ground. Inhale, Sphinx pose, stretching the heart forward. And exhale, slowly come down, press into the hands, downward dog. Lift that left leg all the way up and back. No need to bring an elbow down, and step that left foot forward in between the hands. Going through what we already did, bend the right knee, reach the arms up. Whatever breath comes next, extend the heart forward and the right leg out. Take one breath to step and lean into the left foot. Inhale. Exhale, step it back. Palms in between the shoulder blades. Lift the heart, create that opening. Palms come forward, left arm opens towards the left. Bend that right knee. Try to go for a little tap, left heel to right foot. And then slowly windmill back into warrior two. So it's like a, what would that be, like a matrix move? Okay. Take one reverse warrior, left arm over your ear. Inhale. And then slowly bring that left hand on your lower back. Take your time to get there. And your right hand on your belly. So tailbone goes down. We can feel that, right? The left hand is kind of guiding the lower back long. The right hand is guiding the pubic bone slightly up, and it creates as much opening in the hips as possible. Look forward over your left leg. Lean into that left foot. Pick up the right foot. Maybe you need it more than one step. And notice what happens. If your elbows are starting to create more like a wing, then that left elbow down and that right elbow up. Balancing on the left leg. Flex out through the right heel. And if you feel like you're stabilizing, maybe you can extend the arms apart, keeping that opening in the hips. Right? So as much as we're going into the left hamstring, because we're opening up so much, you should also do the left inner thigh. One more big inhale. Exhale, right fingertips come down, square through the hip. Bring that right foot all the way over to the left and tap as far as you can. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, right foot taps over to the left, squeeze inner thighs. One more time. Inhale, press from the left hip. Exhale, right over to the left. Now bring the foot down. If you're on the tippy toes, make sure the knife edge is down. Right hand underneath the right shoulder, left arm up. Right, so this is a stretch for the left hip as well as a strengthening moment. And then pick that left foot up, step that left foot all the way to the top of your mat. Fallen triangle, inhale. And exhale in your way, make the left hand come down. Right leg extends back. Come down to your chaturanga or not. Upward facing, downward facing. Jacks. Ja. Dit is Marley, toch? Ja. Ja. Marley schenkt Jax alleen nooit zoveel sjoegen. 9 maanden. Ja. All right. Take a big inhale through your nose and give it a sigh and exhale through your mouth. One more time, breathing in and out. Good. Slowly from here, allow your elbows to come down at the very exact same time. And then bring your knees down and come into child's pose. Press the hands back to the space in between the shoulder blades. Maybe you can scoot your elbows a little bit more forward. Now, if you want here, you could come into Anahata Asana, which is the fuller version of heart opener's pose. So for that, you could actually lift up a little bit, scooch the elbows a little bit forward so that you can get your heart to melt to the ground. You can do that with your hands back between your elbows or just forward and in front of you. Pick a variation that works for you. And if you're playing with something like forearm stand, that could also be a moment to play with that right here, as the others are, let's say, taking a more yin approach to that opening. That's the good thing about being in the park. Okay. Give it a couple seconds. Okay. Nice. So for whatever reason, I see somehow I got thrown out of here. So hopefully people can still see me here. I'm going to try something real quick. You
maybe this works. Can you hear me again? Yeah, okay. I hope that that works. I'm gonna take it a little closer because I've changed the audio to my computer. So let's see if we can do this with just vocal from the computer, okay? All right. So if you were still in your child's pose, slowly make your way back into downward facing dog. Technical difficulty. All right. So from your downward dog, slowly walk your feet up towards your hands. Give it a little stroll. Then we'll interlace the hands behind the back and let the arms fall all the way over. Pulling the chin in towards the chest. Kind of undoing if you were, or if you had tried to jump into forearm stand, or if you were in that heart opener for a couple moments. If you missed out on that one back home, I'm sorry. You could bend one knee and then the other so that we can slowly open up the shoulders from side to side, dropping the head. Okay. On your next inhale, bring your fingers down to the floor, lift up halfway, and give it one more fold as you exhale. On your next inhale, lift up halfway and extend your right leg up and back. And instead of taking that right foot all the way to cross over to the left, we're going to bring the right knee down to tap as far as you can towards the outside of the left ankle, right? Then we're gonna extend it back out. We're just gonna do that 2 more times. Slowly bring the knee to touch maybe the outside or maybe all the way down. Press all the way back up and out. One more time, inhale. Exhale, knee to outside of left ankle, and then bring the shin bone all the way down to the floor. And then we're coming down to sit in between the feet. For this one, your left foot is crossed over your right. Left fingertips come behind, we'll come into a twist. Right arm reaches up. And exhale, twist your right elbow outside your left knee and gaze back over your left shoulder. I'm trying to really sit up nice and tall. Giving the shoulders a moment to just release. The upper back to release. On your next breath, inhale, come back to center. Let that left knee come all the way over the right. So if you can, it's like we're coming into full cow face pose. Left arm underneath the right. Lift the elbows up, inhale. And as you exhale, come forward any amount. So maybe you can get your elbows to come all the way down to the floor in front. You can also do this one with just your foot over or one leg extended from the bottom. Wat je deed met die onderste gestrekt is ook oké. Ja, super. Okay. And then at the same time, as you let gravity kind of grab your arms, it leads you deeper into your hips and opens up the shoulders. Give it 5 breaths, easy breaths, slow breaths. And we are slowing down. Three. 2. And 1. On your next inhale, slowly lift up. Release the arms, take them all the way up towards the sky. Inhale. And then take your right hand down to the floor, so your right hand, and stretch your left arm all the way over to the left. Come back up through center, inhale, and exhale, left arm over, right arm over to the left. Inhale, come back up. Right hand comes back down, and then we'll spin around to come into another forward fold to the other side. So if I'm right, you should be facing the opposite side of your mat now. Take a half lift, inhale, don't worry if it didn't happen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up onto your fingertips and extend your left leg up and back. Yes, we're facing the back. Exhale, left knee towards right elbow. Come down as far as you can to tap. Right leg super strong. Extend the left leg back. Exhale, left knee towards right elbow. How low can you go? This is also really good for the right ankle. Keep your heel on the floor. Extend your left leg up and back one more time. Inhale and exhale. Left knee comes all the way down as the shin bone comes down, and we take a seat. So preparing for the twist, left elbow outside of the right knee, right fingertips behind, and gaze all the way back over the right shoulder. Sitting up nice and tall, take your time, maybe closing the eyes. Just letting the things happen, the things we don't have any control over. Feel the, well, in the case for those of us who are outside, the sun on the skin, the wind on the skin. Maybe if you're at home practicing outside, feel the same thing. Take another big breath in, maybe twist in a little bit deeper as you exhale. And then inhale, unfurl. Allow that right knee to come a little bit more over the left thigh. And if you need to extend that bottom leg, you can always take that bottom leg forward if this is too much. Then take the right arm underneath the left and take the elbows up. Inhale. And exhale, coming forward. Elbows come down towards the ground. Maybe you can drop your head. If the arms are too much, of course, you can also just work into the hips. And if you're anything like me, this position might not be your super favorite. So an already really big challenge can be to just accept whatever degree of depth you're in. And this is also a really good example of the heat, because the heat doesn't always have to be physical heat. It can always be a mental friction, because friction is also heat. It's also this sometimes that we have that can actually be the fuel for something to be released or for something to move if it was stuck. So if you are feeling that, can you maybe transmit it or change it into something that's actually opening, the process of releasing? Give it 2 or 3 more breaths in your own rhythm, in your own time. At the end of your exhale, maybe a really nice long on your next inhale, slowly lift up, stay facing the back, release the arms, bring your left hand down to the floor, stretch your right arm all the way over to the left side, and just give yourself a side body stretch side to side. Right hand down, left arm over. And then one more time to the other side, right hand over as you bring your left hand down. The next time that your left hand comes down, will unwind back to the top of the mat. So your left hand comes down, you spin over towards your left shoulder, you lift your hips up, and you should be facing the front again. Or at least a little bit. Step your feet in, inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold forward. Good. Inhale, lift up halfway. Slowly come with the hands underneath the chest. So you release the floor, you lift the heels, and slowly come down into a toe sit. Bring the knees down and forward towards the floor, ideally at the same time and without your hands. Scoop my way back onto the mat. And we're gonna give ourselves one big heart opener. So that could be a camel with your hands to the heels. It could be a camel with your arms cactus. We did do a couple of these archer warriors with the hands between the shoulder blades. Find a variation that just feels like it's the last opening of your heart for the day. So we're gonna lift the knees up or the heels up, lifting the butt. Think of this same length that we created when we were in that lunge. So there is a shifting of the hips back and an extending of the heart forward. You can decide to take your hands to your hips, move back, maybe cactus the elbows, maybe let the arms drop back towards the heels. You could also try the hands between the shoulder blades, but that's a really deep one. So you could give it a go and just see how it goes, lifting the chest and giving it about 3 breaths. Just find something that works for you. You could even go in and close your eyes. Breathe. Good. And be gentle if you feel like you need to be gentle. Nice. Avoid any pain, but let the intensity burn you open. Good. Maybe you give it one more breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, release. Use the inhale to come up. Go ahead and sit back onto your feet or on your butt if you cannot bend your knee that way. Close your eyes and just take a second to drop in. Without trying to create anything that's not there or to take away anything that is. Let's take one more big breath in through the nose. And whatever form of sound or sigh, allow the eyes to open. Slowly release from the seat and make your way down onto your back by slowly rolling down all the way to the floor. And when you come down, pull your knees in towards your chest, massaging a little bit from side to side. And if you feel like your body needs one more thing, then go ahead and maybe take a happy baby, or you can go into a little twist if that feels good. If you know bat pose, that is an option. Bat pose is a combination between butterfly and happy baby. It's where instead of holding on to the feet in happy baby, we hold the ankles and then bring the feet together like butterfly, but you don't allow your feet to touch the floor. Yeah, it's really nice. It's a good variation if your hips are very tight, if you don't like happy baby. If you do, go for it, or go for a twist. It's funny how he decides to lay down now, you know, when we're about to end. When you're ready, make sure you're doing each side to finish off whatever the body needs. There's no rush. And to eventually make your way into a variation of Shavasana that works for you. Some of you know I like the variation in which the feet are down and the knees are together, but you can come into butterfly as well if you like, or just straight legs. Just take something that you can be in for about 2 to 3 minutes that's just about relaxing and releasing everything that we have been doing. And today we did work on the spine quite a bit in many different directions, stabilizing as well as twisting and bending sideways, strengthening through the legs, did some shoulder opening. So instead of feeling the body now in all these separate parts, can you imagine that everything is just melting together like one big ball of light? Bathe in that, bask in that, and we're going to leave just a couple minutes for you to relax. I'll stop talking. without trying to control anything. Just bring your awareness back to your breath and notice how it flows, notice how it moves through your body. And then when you feel like naturally and spontaneously there is a breath that wants to come in and fill you up even more, then maybe give yourself a full belly breath. Let the ribs expand, lifting the heart, and let it be a very simple but sweet release as you exhale. There is no rush whatsoever, but if you feel called to move around your fingers and your toes, go ahead. Maybe turning your head from side to side. Maybe moving the ankles and wrists a little bit. There is no rush, take your time. And if you do feel like the body is asking, maybe you want a full body stretch, extend the arms overhead. And then in your way, or stay on the ground a little longer if you like, roll onto your side. To eventually make your way into a seat, no rush. Bring your hands or just your mind to your heart. And thank yourself for your practice. Regardless of any of the poses you did or any of the poses you didn't do, regardless of how you thought you should have been doing, but just feel into what you're left with right now. These openings, these connections, the love. And maybe send another intention into the rest of your day. What could you open curiously for this day to bring? What do you think you might need? I want to thank you for sharing your time, your energy, your presence, both in real life and on the screen. Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste. Namaste. Yay. I survived. Yeah. Thank you much. Thank you much. Thank you so much. Girls, also, I'm going to close the computer. I'll send you all a message later today. I did record it. I'll check it. And I'm so sorry that for whatever reason we got caught off somewhere almost towards the end, but it did, I think it sort of worked out a little bit. Trial and error, but I'm happy to do it this way just so that everyone gets a chance to be here, even if they don't get the chance to be here. Yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.